Okay, real talk for a minute. So here's the drawing setup and everything. I have the microphone ready, I have the speed paint ready. Crud, I even have notes on my phone. But there's something about that little button right there, that little start recording button that just sucks the soul out of your body and makes you not want to do anything for the life of you, no matter how enthused you are. Look at it. I'm just gonna hit it now, and I already don't want to start recording commentary. What is with that thing? What is it? What? Yeah. Hey guys, what's up? Artfinity here, and I'm back with another drawing video. Now I know what you're thinking. Gee, you've been gone for a long time. And I also know what you're thinking. That's not what I'm thinking. So I'm just not even gonna make excuses. I'll just keep it short and say, yeah, school exists and so does work and so does not sleeping. So that's why I haven't been around. But I'm here now, so that's the important thing. And I guess in order to talk about what the heck I'm gonna talk about, which you probably know about because of the video title, it's Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. It's gonna be awesome, and don't worry, there's not gonna be any spoilers, at least on purpose, and if there are, I'll edit them out in post. At least you better hope I do. Anyway, Spider-Man is my favorite hero. I don't know if anybody knows that, mostly just because I don't ever really talk about what I like. But yeah, Spider-Man has always been my favorite superhero. And I remember when the first one came out, I was just a wee little child and I saw it and I was dumb and I didn't know the difference between movies and real life. So I was like, oh my gosh, Spider-Man's real, what? And he was flying on the buildings and the whatnot. He wasn't flying, he was web slinging. But I mean, I was blind, I couldn't see the web slinging. I legit thought he just flew weird. Then I got glasses, and then I learned a lot of things about how dumb I really was. Anyway, so I knew that this movie was coming out at least a year in advance. I went and saw Spider-Man Homecoming really late. But when I got around to it, I saw that movie and I saw the trailer for Into the Spider-Verse and I was like, okay, that's cool, but I mean, I'm here for Homecoming. I'm here for the Tom Hollands and Tony Starks and the I Don't Feel So Goods. So yeah, I heard about this movie. I was kind of excited about seeing it, but then the more trailers that started coming out and the more people were talking about actually seeing it, they said it was the best Spider-Man movie in existence. Hate to be one of those crowd followers, but I actually kind of totally 100% agree with them. It is the best Spider-Man movie, at least to me. I mean, you don't need to fight me on that. You can think whatever you want. But the reason I think that it's the best Spider-Man movie is just, I don't know, really the way it's told. It has a lot of Spider-Man in it, and it surprised me because there's a lot of them, and I thought that they were kind of going to replace what's unique about Peter Parker, but they didn't. Each of them kind of had their own personality and their own thing going for them, so instead of being a story about like 6 different Peter Parkers, it's a story about a ton of different people being Spider-Man in their own way, and I thought that that was really interesting, especially with the main character Miles in this. Which is really cool for me because I'm totally not a Spider-Man nerd, and just seeing him have a part in the story was really cool. Even with the Spider-Man for the PS4 game, that's like the most Miles Morales I've ever seen in anything before, and I was like, wow, this is cool! And now seeing an entire movie dedicated to him, I was like, this is even more cool! But yeah, the movie was great. I went to go see it. I got a big tub of popcorn. I spilled a fourth of it, but we don't talk about that. So person at the movie theater, that wasn't me. It was Gravity. But yeah, the movie was really great. Emotionally invested the whole time. I only cried a few times. Legit cried. But I think that that's an interesting dynamic about the movie. It's funny and it's goofy when it needs to be, but then it's like heartfelt and heavy when it also needs to be. And the entire time, the music is great. The animation's awesome. It does frame rate variances, so it'll be at like a smooth, crisp 60 FPS for certain scenes, but then in others it drops down to 24 or even 18 for more of an animated, like 2D animated style. And I think that that's something really cool they did. They also have a ton of like text and stuff that pops out throughout the movie and like little comic panels, so the entire time, even though you're watching a movie, it also feels like you're reading a comic book, but a comic book that moves at 24 FPS. That's why I started working on this drawing. This is actually a scene from the movie. I don't think it's too much of a spoiler to say this part because, I mean, it was in a trailer. You've probably seen the trailer where he starts web slinging. Really cool scene. Even more cool when you actually understand the context of what's going on. But yeah, I think it's interesting just because you don't really realize the intensity of how fast he's going until you actually see like his clothes rippling and just flying everywhere, and you're just like, wow, web slinging is actually pretty freaking terrifying once you take the time to think about it, especially if you're afraid of heights. Like, I'm not... Yeah, I thought that scene was really cool. The music for it was great. Unfortunately, I can't slap it onto here because I'll get that fat yellow demonetization button. Although I'm pretty sure that, I don't know, I'll do something stupid and get it anyway. Yeah, so the scene was really good. It was really impactful. Easily one of the best scenes in the entire movie. And it's really cool because it's kind of a rite of passage. That's the moment where he does become Spider-Man. Anyway, I guess in order to talk about the process of this drawing and what I'm doing, even though you've probably seen a lot of it fly by, I kind of set up my own vanishing points and perspective and stuff just because I wanted it to have perspective, but not very structured linear perspective. So that way you can tell that the buildings have perspective and everything, but I also wanted it to give kind of a cartoony, sketchy vibe, which is why nothing is too refined, just refined enough to get the idea across. And I was more focused on getting a feeling of movement. That way you can actually like feel the web slinging, because I mean, you can do a lot with just his body movement and also with his clothes moving. But if you also have the entire environment around him blurring as it's closer, and then in the back it's just normal, it gets more of a feeling of movement out of it. And I don't know, I just wanted that to be like very high intensity and also very bright colors, which was a lot of fun to do. Went heavy into those overlay and color filter layers in Photoshop. You know that it's a solid effect when it takes like 2 seconds to load on a computer that costs a lot of dollars. So you're like, wow, that's fun. Let's see what else we can do to ruin this thing. But yeah, I did that, and then it was also really fun to work on the drawing of him as well. I wanted to be kind of in a painterly style, but also match the aesthetic of the movie. So I added in a ton of textures and a ton of afterlighting, and I don't know, a ton of other art terms that I don't actually know, but I'm pretending to know. So I wanted it to look painterly, but I also still wanted it to look like it had its place in the movie, which is why I added in the flat colors first and then added in the shading and stuff afterwards. But it was super fun to make. I think the drawing only took about 6 hours too, which honestly I thought it was going to take a lot longer when I first started it. I was like, well, I'm going to be here for a solid 2 days. Let's just get a sleeping bag, start a fire in the center of my room, close all the windows and stuff so it's now well ventilated, and just whatever happens, happens. So yeah, I got the popcorn, I got the s'mores, it was great. And yeah, good news is I didn't pass out, because don't start fires in your room, especially when you don't own the house. Word from the wise to the kids, but I'm not wise, so that's okay. Anyway, so great film, recommend anyone to go watch it. I made a fan art, and it was, I liked it. And I really like how the drawing came out, and it's nice to have another Speedpaint again, even though it's been a good while. But anyway, what have you guys been up to? It's been a good day. How are you guys doing? What are you planning on doing for your Christmas break? If you also want to see the final drawing, I have it up on my Instagram, so you can go and check that out. And if you want to see me working on stuff like this live, because I don't stream weekly, but I do stream fairly often, then you can go check out my Twitch, I guess. But anyway, that's enough self-promo. Great movie! 10 out of 10. Best Spider-Man movie. One of the best superhero movies in general, at least in my opinion. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got. I will see you guys later. Bye!